Hey, call on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, the great Ali Shaidat of Israel, the great I am, the possessor of heaven and earth, the spirits of heaven and earth. I come before the name Yahweh Shai, the Adonai, the Hamashiach, the light of this world, the one who died and rose to sit to become his father's right arm, my redeemer, my comforter, and my salvation, and the only one that pleaded his blood over Israel, the only nation granted for salvation. Give respect to the apostles, the high priests of Yahweh, who give us this word day and night and day, and prepare us for these times to come, and allow us to be converted and to be forgiven, and to go back into the fold of Yahweh Shem Shai. And just much respect to those brothers that's out there working around the clock and doing everything to the best of their abilities to get the children of Israel, or the elect of the children of Israel, into the fold. Shout out to the Akim, the brothers that's laboring in this truth, and you follow, you may not be from Great Millstone, but you follow Great Millstone, and you listen to their classes, and you listen when they bring out church on Saturdays. Shalom to you, brothers, and you're doing it on the highways and byways, and you're doing it at home. Shalom. Shalom. You risk your freedom in life to do so, as well as the brothers of Great Millstone. Awesome. Peace to you guys. Shalom. And shout out to the Aquath, the women that's in the truth, and whether you got a man or not, you still fear the statutes and commandments of Yahweh, and you learn in silence. There's nothing wrong with learning in silence. There's nothing wrong with assuming the natural order of things. There's nothing wrong with allowing, if you have a man, allowing the man to be your guide and to be your, your mediator between you and the Most High. Amen. And if the Most High is your man, then, spiritually, you respect, you listen, and you learn in silence. So coming back at you with another episode, you know what I'm saying? Another video that's being brought out through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai and the name Yahweh Shai. And, the times is getting closer. So the closer the times get, the prophets is working around the clock faster and faster to get the word out and to educate us brothers and to get us prepared for the times of temptation, Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast, World War III, all the way up to the coming of Yahweh Shai and him glorifying his father, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and coming to get the elect with with Michael and the angels and the great chariots. So, I got a couple of videos. This is a small presentation. It's not as much as, the one where I, you see my face and all that. But, this is a small presentation to the best of my abilities. And, I'll show you a couple of videos on what's going on. I got a couple of scriptures to break down, and we're going to get straight to it. Most importantly, sometimes you'll see most of my focus is on the times ahead of us. Well, that's the majority of all Great Millstone, but Great Millstone touch on all different aspects, of life, and the things that you go through, and the things that you're not supposed to do, and the things that you are supposed to do, and all the way prior up to the troubles and the times that we're coming in. But, knowing me, my spirit is more rested on the times that's coming, so the brothers in them, they do the whole major part, and those of us that are believe, we do the best we can, and try to be like them, But I got a couple of precepts before we get into one of the presentations, because a lot of guys are very non-believing, very objective. They're actually getting worse with their non-belief. A lot of people, they just not seeming to see what's coming. It's just like a deer in headlights or a deer on the train tracks, they just don't see it coming until it's right in their face. So we getting closer and closer to that moment to where, the deer about to get ran over by the train, and they don't believe it until it happens. So, you got a lot of brothers and sisters like that won't act now. They rather act later and want to see visible proof and touch it and feel it. We don't got time for all of that. The real thing is for you to get it now instead of getting it later. So it's like, a lot of our brothers and sisters aren't seeing the wake-up call. The money is funny. Something strange going on with the food. We got different variants of the V19 or whatever you want to call it spreading around. You know, we got these major wars going on. We got a lot of history that's being pulled up about us. You know, the children of Israel. It's been a spike of believers, over 50 million from what Apostle Tahar, the head dog at GMS, have revealed. So it's a lot more and more of our brothers and sisters that are knowing that they're Israelites, and a lot of our brothers and sisters that are waking up to knowing that they're Israelites. So it's amazing times that's happening. We got a lot of different prophecies that have come to pass, like the red moon, the signs in the heavens, which are the chariots themselves, or what you would call UFOs. They've been sighted everywhere. Like I repetitively bring it up. I've seen one and caught one on camera myself. I've seen other ones on camera, and I can actually tell the real from the fake. And some of them, the majority that I have seen, are pretty real. So there's a lot of things that they are missing, that they really need to pay attention to. People say that they like money, they like to work, they like to ball. Well, you tell these people that the money is worthless and that at some point you're not going to no longer need it. They want to pretend like it's not true or show me some proof. You still show them the proof, they still look away. So, for my brothers and sisters, this is, I hope that you're listening now, because it's too much information. It's too many facts that's showing you. And we've never seen this kind of thing before, that America is on a downfall. There is no tomorrow for this place. Ain't no point to prop your kids up. There's no point in building a new house and getting married. There's no point in that. So our people really got to understand what time it is. We at the beginning of Jacob's trouble, when all this stuff starts bursting into flames because this white man can't keep this wicked ass engine running. Then you'll realize, like, oh, that's what they was talking about, or damn, they was right. I hope that they was wrong. No, we was right. And God has ways of getting at our people. So we gonna give you a couple of precepts right now. We in Amos chapter 3 verse 1. It says, hear the word that Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So you see that Yahweh says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. So is God talking about other nations? Is God talking about white people? No, he's not. He doesn't know. He doesn't recognize them as a people. He doesn't recognize them as his people. And knowing the color of the Israelites, we are the color of bronze, and we did live in the land of Egypt and did go through that slavery, that 400-year slavery. Because right now it's like 500 years at America, 400-year slavery at the very beginning. When we did iniquity and God cast us into slavery and sent Moses, one of his top prophets, to come and save our butts and to get us out of captivity, to make his name known across the earth, and to bring us into the land of the milk and honey, and establish the covenant. That was us. So God says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. That's why white people are not understanding this book. You're not even included in God's family. You're not included in God recognizing you as one of his people. So for people, they look kind of crazy because they read these scriptures and then they look over it and they say, well, that's not how I was trained in the Bible. That's how you're trained in the Bible. Well, you was just trained in a lie. You know what I'm saying? Not just for Edomites, all the nations, the children of Israel, for those that don't believe, that still believe in the slave trade doctrine, they just look stupid. They just need to come out of the lie and go into the truth. But as far as I'm concerned, for, the white people and the other nations, they just lying to themselves. You look stupid. because it tells you right here. It says, can two walk together unless they are agreed? It says, will a lion roar in the forest when he has no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he has caught nothing? Will a bird fall into a snare on the earth where there is no trap for it? Will a snare spring up from the earth if it has caught nothing at all? If a trumpet is blown in a city, will not the people be afraid? If there is calamity in a city, will not Yahweh have done it? So when all these evils come upon you because of your doubtful spirit, hateful spirit, you don't believe and you don't have no faith, when all these evils come upon you, you're going to know God did it to you. So it says, surely Yahweh does nothing unless he reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets. A lion has roared, who will not fear? Yahweh Shem Yahushai has spoken, who can but prophesy? And that's the great millstone. They sent the word out to those of us, and those of us that got it, we got it. And they advised us to keep it, you know, because it's going to be, Lord willing, Yahweh willing, to our salvation. And we make it to the end of the race, because the race is you know, the prophets been running a race for a long time, you know. They've been doing it right, you know. So for those of us that's coming in, you know, for those of us, our faith will be surely tested, you know, by the race is going to intensify, and the real race is about to start, which is Jacob's trouble, all the way to the coming of the Messiah. So it's about to get really, really, really rugged. And, you know, I got a couple of videos that's going to show that these are facts that's coming out of the Bible that are true, that the way things are going right now, like they said, it's so bad in America that they won't be able to repair America for a couple of years, man. That's how bad the collapse is going to be. So, you know, it's telling you that this is done. This is done by Yahweh Shem Shai's will, and it's been spoken, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You can only prepare and brace yourself for it, meaning that you put on the whole armor of Yahweh, allow Yahweh to be your shield and buckler and your sword, and prepare to do battle, because these white people gonna come down like thunder, because they're gonna know, okay, these y'all the true children of Israel, and y'all did this, y'all prophets did this, is y'all fault, y'all all deserve to die, because they lost their royalty. Their royalty been translated over to the children of Israel. They ain't got nothing, you know. It says, proclaim in the palaces at Ashdod and in the palaces in the land of Egypt, and say, assemble on the mountains of Samaria, see great tumults in her midst, and the oppressed within her, for they do not know to do right, says Yahweh, who store up violence and robbery in her palaces. It says, therefore, thus says Yahweh, an adversary shall be all around the land. He shall sap your strength from you, and your palaces shall be plundered. Exactly. Since you don't know and you choose not to believe, then God say, I'm going to send these white people on you. And it's going to be the same way that they came at you during slavery. You know, during the times when they rounded you up and they was over there taking you into slavery, you know. But this time, they going to try to kill all y'all. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to look like back in the days, or 70 AD, during Jerusalem's fall, and they was just slaughtering and killing everybody, all the Israelites, you know, and only some of them got away, which is the ones that Yahweh allowed to get away. So, you know, but that's what's coming to those who don't believe, or those who do not have the knowledge, because you got some people who didn't even cross paths with the Israelites. You know, even though the whole world has heard of it, you got some people out there that's really like that, on the highway to life, and you're moving so fast in life, you haven't noticed anything at all around you, you know? So you do have people like that, you know? It says, thus says Yahweh, as a shepherd takes from the mouth of a lion 2 legs or a piece of an ear, so shall the children of Israel be taken out, who dwell in Samaria, in the corner of a bed and on the edge of a couch. It says, hear and testify against the house of Yahweh, says the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, your God. It says that in that day, and no, that in the day I punish Israel for their transgressions, I will also visit destruction on the altars of Bethel, and on the thorns of the altars shall be cut off and fall to the ground. I will destroy the winter house along with the summer house. It says, the houses of ivory shall perish, and the great houses shall have an end, says Yahweh. It says, hear the word of you cows of Bashan who are in the mountains of Samaria, because, you know, the majority of Americans are obese and lazy, you know. So that's why he called them cows, because this is the land in the city of peace that they talk about. So people, they easily make it. They get what they want. You know, majority of the white people do. They get what they want, and then over time, after they feel like they done got their 401k and their retirement plan and a retirement check, they just sit there and get old and fat. So, you know, Lord knows exactly who he's talking about. It says, who oppress the poor, who crush the needy, who say to your husbands, bring wine, let us drink. Yahweh has sworn by his holiness, behold, the day shall come upon you when he will take you away with fish hooks, and your posterity with fish hooks. You will go out through broken walls, each one straight ahead of her, and you will be cast into Harmon, says Yahweh. So I got a video for that verse right there. That verse kicks in one of the first videos. For them old fat people and them old fat white people and them big giant fat white boys that would just eat and go out and go have fun. For them old fat women, you know, them old fat women, them white women, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be pretty, man. And they are like that, whether they fat or not. They pretty lazy. They love to party. They can care less about what's going on in their nation. You know, they don't care. As long as they get what they want, they really don't give a fuck about the nation and it's coming to a complete crash and all that. They don't care. This is what we call a dumbed down society, you know. And this is all a part of the white man's plans for depopulation. So, you know, he expects his people to be the way he's done things. Not only the Israelites are dumbed down, but his people are dumbed down too, retarded. So they don't believe, they don't hear anything that they see, you know. It's all a part of the devil's plans to kick in that new world order and kill lots and lots of people. Let's see. Now we can get into Epic Economics, because that's who I listen to when I need to understand economy and all that. That's who I listen to, you know. And the prophets say you should at least know a little something about the economy and stuff. So, you know, it's good to listen, you know, to some of these people. Not the it's a great majority of the Edomites that are dumb, but not all of them are retards. Some of them do see what's coming, and they constantly warn. They constantly warn, but they ain't gonna listen.
Bad financial news doesn't seem to stop coming these days. The compounding effects of the health crisis, the Russian aggression on Ukraine, broken supply chains, soaring inflation, rising interest rates, and a chaotic commodity market are threatening to provoke what some investors are calling a bone-dry recession and a full-scale stock market crash. The global economy and the financial sector are recording massive losses as conditions continue to deteriorate by the day. A widespread meltdown is on the horizon, and things could run off the track sooner than most people think. That's why today we have compiled warnings, indicators, and recent data shared by Wall Street's top strategists that expose the dire state of the global economy and financial markets and explain why a huge downturn is ahead. But before checking this list, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our future videos. Here are 15 financial facts that just might scare the living daylights out of you. 1. According to Business Insider, Wall Street just issued its first official recession and stock market crash warning amid rising interest rates as the Fed starts to roll back its bond purchasing program. All major Wall Street banks are predicting a significant decline in the months ahead and all the way into 2023. 2. On Tuesday, Deutsche Bank analysts forecasted the S&P 500 to crash an additional 20%, pushing Wall Street to a bear market right before the U.S. falls into recession. The analysts believe that this view will eventually become a consensus. 3. For Morgan Stanley, this is already a bear market, and the latest gains were part of a bear market rally that typically occurs before more losses follow. However, according to the firm's chief equity strategist, Mike Wilson, that bear market rally is over, and as the economy slows down, now it's time for a series of corrections. 4. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs economists predict a dramatic economic slump in 2022. They expect GDP to collapse from 5.7% last year to 1.9% this year. They also highlighted...
And it's funny because it's not like Russia even cares. That's their plan, to crash the U.S.'s economics. They can give a fuck. It's funny how Goldman Sachs is trying to warn Russia when Russia could care less about America's condition.
There's a 35% chance of a recession unfolding in the United States in the months ahead. 5. On the same note, Bank of America's Michael Hartnett wrote in a note released on Friday that the inflation shock is worsening, while the rates shock is just beginning, and a recession shock coming. The strategist highlighted that some...
I love how they do that, the distractions, you know. They try to throw up different distractions, you know, like different movies and video games, you know, and going out to go party in different events. Yeah, it sounds fun and all that, just to get you to look away from the grim condition that America's in. They no more different from a bunch of dominoes, man. All the way, excuse me, bless me, so like you. It's all the way down to the, it's really going to have impact because all the dominoes are falling, leading up to big dominoes that are stacked up to small dominoes being stacked up all the way to the last domino. So, you know, that looked like a bunch of dominoes too. But I'm just saying, the distractions, you know, they just want to keep you from looking at what's really happening and looking at the bigger picture. And those of us that are smart, you know, and the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai is dwelling around us and upon us, he keeps our eyes open and he keeps us focused on what's truly important.
Overlooked factors such as food inflation protests in developing nations are likely to have a much bigger financial impact on global growth than traders are pricing in for. Social instability in emerging markets equals weaker growth, he wrote. Inflation always precedes recessions, and the last dominoes to drop in terms of recession expectations are higher yields, but a steeper yield curve, as well as a weaker dollar and lower consumer spending. It turns out that we have all of that in today's financial markets. 6. A major red flag for financial markets is the dramatic moves in the U.S. Treasury bond market. Last week, the 10-year Treasury yield surged to 2.557% a year. At the end of 2021, it hovered around 1.5%, meaning that the yield on this benchmark bond has jumped by almost a full percentage point in the first 4 months of 2022. Now, according to historic patterns, this also means that a seismic shift is happening. In the past, it was a signal that share prices were about to fall. With rising interest rates and rampant inflation impacting economic growth, investors are considering...
And as you can see, that shit is nasty right now. If you can see 2002, in that little area right there, that shit was scraping the ground, man. This shit was supposed to collapse a long time ago. America is just doing the best that they can to stay afloat. We'll get to the next we'll get to the next next part of my presentation. But as you can see right there on that little list right there, that shit is nasty. Like, do you see that? Oh my goodness. And they keep track of all of this, man. They keep track of all of this. So the people that are really in the stock markets, they really, people that own like big stuff like, corporations and things like that, they really are concerned about what's happening to America that is about to just fucking blow up, man. That's just how bad it is right now. That's not a good condition on the graph neither. That shit don't look right.
In the past, it was a signal that share prices were about to fall. With rising interest rates and rampant inflation impacting economic growth, investors are considering this bond route as a warning sign of the next recession and stock market meltdown. 7. The Fed has caused enormous distortions in the economy and inflated an everything bubble over the past 2 years, but the situation is rapidly reaching a breaking point.
And as you can see, they're talking about it. It's in such a bad condition. The economy, the stock market is bursting into flames so bad to where that we wouldn't be surprised if their estimates were true about if this event happening in June or in August. That's how fast it's happening. It's happening faster than what we thought, And it's just all coming crashing down. That's exactly what's happening. And they just saying, fuck it. We're going to go ahead and switch everything to digital, and we're going to ditch this dollar for good, and we're going to let everything crash all the way, bringing up to the mark of the beast during Jacob's trouble. So it's about to be bad, man.
That's why former U.S. Representative and 40-year Wall Street veteran David Stockman is sounding the alarm about a stock market crash of biblical proportions. Whether it wants to...
So you got a lot of the government, you got a lot of these weird illuminists that they talk about. This was all planned, okay? This was all for the weird-ass New World Order that they bringing up. And he said biblical proportions for a reason, because they know that Yahweh is crashing it. First, he's revealing the iniquity of Esau. You know what I'm saying? And second, he's embarrassing him, and he's destroying him slowly. And then the last but not least, he gonna just get rid of Esau, But right now, he's being embarrassed and being laid bare, So it's a pretty tough time for Esau right now, because all the great millstone, the prophets and those of us that know that we Israelites and we keep track of this guy, just as well as he keep track of us through his phones and through his little TVs and through his weird little government cameras and weird government flies. You know what I'm saying? I done heard it all the ridiculous shit that this white nigga does. We are laughing at him. The more he performs, the more you put on entertainment for us, because we Yahweh Shem, in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, you know what I'm saying? We are part of the Most High, you know what I'm saying? So we just sitting back watching this dude, do the Michael Jackson dance and do all the little weird dances and rap and sing and clap and play boss. And, we just laughing at these white people at this point, because we know that they shit is coming to an end. We know that they economy is crashing. We know that it is just about to be over. And the whole thing is that they are the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So they're being laughed at. We were entertainment to them, they're entertainment for us. Because not nothing that they'll do will prevail. And, you know, like I said, a lot of them do read the Bible, so they know that the crash is coming. And this crash, they ain't going to, this going to cripple America so bad it's not going to be able to get up again as a nation. So that's why it was funny that they put in biblical proportion. Hey, man, that's the crashing in the hills, you know, the breaking of the fish gate, you know, the Great Depression, the fucking 2006 crash all the way up till now. So they knew it, and the Bible spoke of it. Yahweh spoke of it. So, you know, by y'all not believing, you know, you got a lot of them, you got a couple of them Edomites that are aware and know what's happening to them, you know, so.
Or not, the Fed will crash the stock market. They're going to have no choice but to throw on the brakes much harder than the market is expecting. Much harder than they would like to do, or maybe even intend at the moment. But there is no way around it, Stockman argues. So, the market will struggle with a Fed that turns out not to be their friend. It's like time and time again, people think the worst is over, buy the dip, and make a lot of money, only to be disappointed. I think the most important thing right now is to stay out of the casino, he cautioned, adding that the bond market is vastly, massively overvalued. As a result, the price of bonds will drop dramatically, and people will be shocked by how much you can lose in allegedly safe sovereign debt. The stock market is even more dangerous, and it's entirely because of these artificially low, ultra-low interest rates. So now we're starting to move into the realm of reality, let's say normalcy, as interest rates come back up. And I think they got a long way yet to go. If you're going to be in the stock market, be on the short side, the insider continued, noting that the market may lose up to 60% of its value before the year's end. 8. According to Bloomberg, the former president of the powerful New York Fed, William Dudley, says that the central bank will not be able to tackle inflation that's running at a 40-year high without making investors suffer. It's hard to know how much the U.S. Federal Reserve will need to do to get inflation under control. But one thing is certain. To be effective, it'll have to inflict more losses on stock and bond investors than it has so far, Dudley warned. He also noted that the Fed isn't likely to ride to the rescue in the event of heavy losses in financial markets. 9. John Hussman, a market veteran who called the 2000 and 2007 crashes, says that stock returns are set to hit the lowest level since the Great Depression. By analyzing the implied 12-year returns of the market given current valuations, Hussman showed that the future of stocks is extremely bleak. Regardless of which measure you choose, you'll find that the estimated 12-year average annual total return for the S&P 500 is negative based on the current level of valuations relative to their historical norms.
All right, and we're going to get a couple of Bible scriptures. Because right now what's happening is that everything that you think is imaginary is actually fact, you know? And that the Bible is fact. The Bible is real, and it's hard evidence of Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai. There's nothing you can do about it. This is a part of his magnifying his name upon the earth, all the way leading up to the return of the Messiah. So, you know, there's nothing they can really do about it. And those are major facts. I didn't put all 15 of them because it's a long little thing, but you know, Epic Economics, you know, this guy that I've been listening to, he gives you all the numbers, he gives you all the facts, he gives you as much more as ammunition than I need. And this is all coming from the Bible, all this knowledge and all this power and all this information, you know, through the will and the spirit of Yahweh. And they are meant to be brought down. So, you know, you don't trust in the shadow of Egypt. You don't make plans. You don't get comfortable here. This is not our rest. You know, you got a lot of you got a lot of the children of Israel doing that, wanting to get married, planning on going to college, planning on graduating from college and going to go stack millions and gazillions of dollars so they can sit on it, hopefully get famous. You got a lot of them planning families. You got a lot of them desiring things and buying cars and buying homes and stuff. And all of this stuff ain't even going to be of much use, in the next couple of months. It's not. It's going to be to nothing. You building your whole world just to watch it crash down. And that's what's going to be a part of the riots and all that, and the people being angry because everything was taken from them. Everything that they planned, everything that they've done, everything that they want to do or will do, you're not going to be able to do none of that. As you can see, the stock market is crashing a lot faster than what they've ever believed, and without the dollar being the dollar being useless, and it's not being put towards anything, it's not being backed by anything. With Saudi Arabia not being one of their trump cards in their hands, America is just at a loss. It's game over, and they're not the best anymore. They're not what everybody's looking at, and the whole world is laughing at them, because they got tired of the white man doing whatever he wants, and Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is tired of it too. It's time for him to go. There's a boundary that he can't cross, and he's hitting that boundary. He can't cross it, even if he wanted to. It's like a force field. You know what I'm saying? He wants to cross over from desolation to the paradise, and the grass is greener on the other side, but it's a sleek wall that he can't see. You just ran into it. It's unbreakable. You can't cross over to it, even if you wanted to. And you see the children of Israel over there basking in paradise with the Lord and all that, and he want to be there too, but it's not meant for him. He can't. He can only go so far, so it says, who oppress the poor, who crush the needy, who say to your husbands, bring wine, let us drink. Yahweh has sworn by his holiness, behold, the days shall be upon you when he will take you away with fish hooks, and your posterity with fish hooks. What you saw was a form of his posterity and his livelihood and his money and his economy and the land that he stole being taken away. So it says, you will go out through broken walls, each one straight ahead of her, and you will be cast into Harmon, says Yahweh. Come to Bethel and transgress. At Gilgal, multiply transgressions. Bring your sacrifices every morning, your tithes every 3 days. Offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving with leaven. Proclaim and announce the free will offering. For this you love, you children of Israel, says Yahweh. It says, also I gave you cleanliness of all teeth in all of your cities, and lack of bread in all of your places, and you have not returned to me, says Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. That's right. He gave the teeth mean weapons. He gave us the weapons to defend ourselves, and said, in lack of bread in all of your palaces. And that lack of bread could signify to the knowledge and the wisdom of Yahweh being scarce, but it can also signify the famine that's coming and all the things that are happening. And it says, yet you have not returned to me, says Yahweh. So he gave you the word and all that, and he's showing you all of these prophecies, and you still don't believe. It says, I also withheld rain from you when there were still 3 months to the harvest. I made it rain one city. I withheld rain from another city. One part was rained upon, and there it did not rain. The part withered. So 2-3 cities wandered to another to drink water. And I do believe that's the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the word. Certain part of the city got some water and the other part didn't and withered away. It says, but they were not satisfied, yet you have not returned to me, says Yahweh. I blasted you with blight and mildew. He talking about the slave trades that we've been in and how he let the enemy destroy us. When your gardens increased, your vineyards, your fig trees, your olive trees, the locusts devoured them, yet you have not returned to me, says Yahweh. That's the times where we went off and Yahweh has sent, the white man to come and destroy us, or whatever army he pleased or whatever nation he pleased to come and run us down and take everything that we had. It says, I sent among you a plague after the manner of Egypt. Your young men I killed with the sword, along with your captive horses. I made the stench of your camps come up into your nostrils. Yet you have not returned to me, says Yahweh. He wants us to return. I overthrew some of you, as Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and you were like a firebrand plucked from the burning, yet you have not returned to me, says Yahweh. Exactly, because a lot of us is going to be kept in that day, that nuclear day that he keeps reminding us about. It's a nuclear event, and you still didn't return to him. You still didn't believe all the way up to the last day. You still didn't believe. It says, I sent you a plague after the manner of Egypt. Your young men I killed with the sword, along with your captive horses. I made a stench of your camps come up into your nostrils. Yet you have not returned to me. So that's another thing that's going to be happening too. And that one, you already know which plague that he's talking about in his present time. He did all that. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai did all of this. It says, therefore, thus I will do to you, O Israel, because I will do this to you. Prepare to meet your God, O Israel, because he's mad. He's angry. And it's not a funny angry. All this stuff is happening through the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. For behold, he who forms the mountains and creates the wind, he who declares man what his thoughts is and makes the morning darkness. See, that's the Most High. Y'all forget all the foundations that the Lord had made, and y'all pardon the Lord and all the things that he's done, okay? Because no man could do the things that God did. He made the earth. He made the stars that you see. He made the sun. He made the moon. He made the beautiful animals, the beautiful plants. Like one good example, he made the apple that you eat off the tree, and it's edible to you. And the trees yield the fruit to feed you every day. That's the Lord, man. God did all that. Praise Yahweh B'Shem outside and name outside. Because when the Lord reminds you of his foundations and how he created this place and how he done all of this, then you have no choice but to acknowledge the Lord. But the Most High say you won't return to him. It's not going to work. The Lord knows it. It requires more. You might have to die without knowing the things that you need to know. You might have to die in your doubt. You might have to die in you being incorrected to be corrected. It just might come to all that. Well, it will come to all that. You got people that are that retarded. They still not going to believe in it, even when they see Yahweh Shai and Michael the Archangel and all them giant angels walking the earth. They going to think they watching some sort of CGI movie.
My Mustang. In the world of finance, we're often quick to forget the tragedies of the past. Yet valuable lessons are to be...
Oh, my bad to introduce this, but I was watching this other video, and this video was very informative, and they said it will be worse than the Great Depression. So you go back to the Great Depression, and you look at how they slipped into Great Depression in the first place.
...had by exploring their causes and effects. After all, in a world of ever-changing rules, products, and services, history is the one constant that can guide us through the ambiguity. So let's take a 5-minute history lesson on today's Plain Bagel. The year is 1918, and after 4 years of conflict, the First World War is finally over. America has emerged as one of the victors, and is about to enter a period of economic prosperity and cultural change known as the Roaring Twenties. Things start off pretty strongly, as the post-war economy is seeing a boost. Troops are back from the war, delayed projects are straightening up again, and hey, more women are entering the workforce, meaning that more people have a salary to spend, and companies are looking for a piece of the money pie. So in 1920, we see our first radio advertisement, and it seems to be working. Recent inventions like the vacuum cleaner and the electric washing machine are becoming hot commodities. And hey, since things are looking pretty good, the banks are giving out loans to everybody, meaning that even more people can buy the latest and greatest gadgets. Before you know it, everyone's getting a car too. Henry Ford's T-model, to be exact. And with it, life is becoming a lot easier. Now you can do the Charleston across town and be home for your evening smoke. All of this is making companies very rich, and the average American is making good money themselves. In fact, people are starting to look for things to do with their newfound wealth. Buy another laundry machine? Nah. A new car? Don't need it. Oh, wait, what about investing? Yeah, that's it. After all, why be rich when you can be more rich? So the stock market becomes a pretty popular practice, and with so many people buying, investors are finding it very easy to make money on stocks. Soon enough, everyone thinks they're 1920s Warren Buffett, and I mean everybody. Cooks, shoe shines, taxi drivers, you name it, everyone is trading like a Wall Street tycoon, pouring their life savings into whatever security is hot that day. In fact, there's so much money to be made, people are taking out loans to invest even more, and banks are happily collecting the interest. By the way, those same banks are looking to invest more money too, and soon enough they begin borrowing money from customer bank accounts to buy stocks. But since things are looking up, no one's noticing, and overall things are going pretty well in America, financially anyway, and as we experience flapper culture, prohibition, and the rise of jazz music, people are making good money on the markets. By 1929, America's total wealth has doubled, and investments are up 218% since 1922. In fact, stocks are rising so fast, companies are having a hard time keeping up and justifying their stock price. Wait, that's not good. And hold on, production actually seems to be slowing down. Henry's not making as many T models, and people aren't buying as many things. It looks like companies may have overestimated their...
You see that? And production is slowing down, and people ain't buying many things because they was hyperinflating back then, you know? And it's a saying that the Most High say, I'll build you way up, way high up, just to crash you down. So the example of the Tower of Babylon with Nimrod is the same example of the white man with America. Build you way up, and then the Most High sent an overthrowing wind, and it hit Babylon, the Tower of Babylon, and it crashed it down. And then he caused everybody in that story to be scattered and to live by different languages, because they was all doing wickedness during that time and talking about they gonna build a tower up into heaven, and he wants to make his inhabitation high. He wants to be like the Most High, but God said, yet you shall be brought down to Sheol. So you see that the production is slowing down, and people are buying less because the inflation was spiking. It was the fucking gas prices and all that was about to implode way back then.
Growth, and now wages are falling, and all that easy to access debt, well, people have taken out quite a bit, and interest rates are starting to rise. But wait a minute, the stock market is still up. That doesn't seem right. Even though the economy is looking worse for wear under the hood, investors are more or less ignoring these problems and buying and selling as if everything were exceptional. Sure, we see a few shakeups and close calls, but things are still largely positive, and people are still gambling on the markets. But over time, the voice of reason is getting louder, and investor uncertainty is increasing, which brings us to October 24th, 1929, Black Thursday as it's called, the theorized start of the Great Depression. Investors have been royally spooked with headlines reading,
Prices of stocks crash and heavy liquidation.
and when markets open, they start to sell. And I mean sell. 12.9 million shares to be exact. A new record. And at opening bell, things fall 11%. People are selling so much that price takers can't keep up with the volume. So people don't even know what their selling price is. And all this selling is dragging the stock market down, erasing large chunks of America's wealth. And things are about to get...
And why you think that America is going broke? They doing the same thing. And one example is with the jobs, man. They're selling all the mid-class jobs and all the jobs that would get you rich to other nations, man. Because they going broke as fuck.
Worse. While markets recover later that day, come Black Tuesday, it's an outright panic. The Dow Jones falls 12%, and that record we set last Thursday, yeah, we just broke it again. The markets lose $14 billion in one day. Some shares are now worthless, people have lost their life savings, and Americans who borrow to invest are absolutely crushed. And so, friends, here we are. The Great Depression, the worst economic downturn in the history of the industrialized world. The Dow Jones falls for another 3 years after this, losing 90% of its value from its high in 1929. Many lose their jobs as companies shut down, and it's not just investment.
And peep that, the Dow Jones is falling for another 3 years. So imagine how long, how far the Dow Jones has fallen on the stock markets, and what they're saying, they're like, damn, we might never be able to get America off their feet. Which is true. You ain't gonna get America off his feet. It's gonna take you damn near 20 years to get America from all this chaos and all this crap. That's why they got the cryptocurrency plan and the New World Order plan. That's their next plans, because they planning on abandoning all of this.
That are hit. Remember that money the banks borrowed? Well, a bunch of it is lost in the markets too. And people are only getting back 10 cents for every dollar they had in their account.
Sorry.
Banks across the country shut down, and unemployment reaches its highest level in U.S. history, 24.9%. By this point, breadlines, soup kitchens, and homelessness are common sights. Whether you invested, borrowed money, or even just held money in a bank account, the Depression found a way to hurt you financially. Times would be tough throughout the 1930s, and fiscal intervention from Franklin D. Roosevelt would do little to boost activity. In fact, it wouldn't be until the rise of the Third Reich in Germany that we would see an end to the crisis. You see, the Great Depression wasn't just felt in America. Rather, with recent globalization, its effects were felt around the world. And in the darkness, we saw the rise of Hitler, who used the despair of the German people as a rallying call, ultimately leading to the creation of the Nazi Party and the start of the Second World War in 1939. The war created jobs in America, ironically ending one tragedy.
What was the saying? Wars make money, man. Through wars, they make cash.
With the start of another. Experts can't agree on why the Great Depression was as bad as it was, but there were valuable takeaways from the hardship. It demonstrated just how powerful the greed and alternatively the fear of the markets can be when they get out of control, while demonstrating the destructive potential of speculation and debt. Laws would later be introduced to safeguard financial institutions and deposits. And during his time in office, Franklin D. Roosevelt would introduce the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and the Securities Exchange Commission, institutions targeted at protecting the wealth of Americans that still exist to this day. Few are left who remember the hardships of the Depression, but we'd be foolish to forget the lessons it provided. After all, fear, greed, and speculation are far from dead. Hey guys,
You see that, man, through them greedy ass people and through the love of money, you know, they run cold. So right now you got to understand just how powerful and just how detrimental the loss of your money will be, man. It's going to be fucked up, man. A lot of people are so hypnotized. People will kill for money. People will cheat for money. People will die from this damn green paper, man. This damn green paper. This is what they... And when it's all flying out of the window, your little money just flying out of the window, people just gonna go nuts. They don't understand none of this shit. They've been programmed to eat, work, sleep. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's only a matter of time before it blows sky high. And it's gonna be a repeat and even worse of the Great Depression. And this is all because of how I was doing. It says, behold, he who forms mountains and creates the wind, who declares to man what his thoughts is and makes the morning darkness. It says, who treads the high places of the earth. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the name Yahushua is his name. So the God is watching all of this and he's laughing. He holds the white man in derision, man. He laughed at his calamity. It says, hear this, which I take against you, a lamentation, O house of Israel. Because what is the Bible made of? Lamentations, mournings, and woe. It might be a couple of little good times in all this, but this is all about Israel making a way back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai and being redeemed through Yahweh Shai, and them ascending permanently to godhood. So it says, the virgin of Israel has fallen, she will rise no more. It says, she lies forsaken on her land. There is no one to raise her up. The slavery. For thus says Yahweh, the city that goes out by 1,000 shall have 100 left, and that which goes out by 100 shall have 10 left into the house of Israel. That's the remnant. A lot of us not going to make it. It says, for thus says Yahweh to the house of Israel, seek me and live. Because everybody knows that the secret place is Yahweh. Yahweh is the secret place. The world may have known about him, but through Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and our people being so stubborn, it's few that accept the Lord and few of us that go back to Yahweh. So it says, seek me and live, but do not seek Bethel. Don't seek the white man or his wicked devices, nor enter Gilgal, nor pass to Beersheba. It says, for Gilgal shall surely go into captivity, and Bethel shall come to nothing. Seek Yahweh and live. Let lest he break out like fire in the house of Joseph, and devour it with no one to quench it in Bethel. You who turn justice to wormwood, and lay righteousness to rest in the earth. And I got one more before we close out. One more presentation. This is the last one, but the most important. And what did the Lord just say just now? Let's go back to that. You who turn justice to wormwood and lay righteousness to rest in the earth. And we're going to stop. We're going to pause it right there on that. We're going to go to the, because he He's doing all this, and he's destroying everything. The white man, he even lying to his own people. Hey. Oh, wait. It's going to flip.
See if I can find it. Where, a couple quick ones. That's not it. This is
Is
it.
it going to flip?
And this is a quick insert from
I'll do it like that.
Weon. But let's just see how the nations are feeling about America.
And this is from GMS Maccabean Spirit, one of the teachers that I listen to. I listen to Apostle Tahar. I listen to Apostle Gabar, which is Daily Edification 4. If you're looking for Apostle Tahar, no, Apostle Gabar. And you can look on the Odyssey. I do believe that they call it. It's like a website on the internet, but my phone isn't fast enough, so it doesn't show the videos as fast as I want it to. So I follow his other channels. Don't take the charagma and don't space it out when you put it in. Just put it in all together, and you'll find the head dog Apostle Tahar, or what's his name, King Yehoiada Maccabees 144. You'll find him as well. I do believe his name comes with something else. You can go to GMS Teacher Narrator C7. That's one of the teachers that I listen to as well. I listen to him sometimes. GMS Truth is Fierce. GMS Hold the World Firm. Don't space it out when you said. GMS Truth is Fierce is the other guy. And GMS Hold the World Firm is another guy. I think he's from Jamaica. Sometimes his vocabulary is choppy, but every now and then I do listen to him, you know. And what's another faithful brother? Idwam Ibad. I don't listen to him like I used to because I listen to the head dogs, but he's always there pushing the truth, and if you want to hear him, you can. And he be sending out some fire, and he one of the prophets that's on fire right now. So, you know, you can go to the top teachers. You know what I'm saying? Those are my top teachers that I listen to on a daily, you know. So, you know, you can listen to them. But this is from GMS Maccabean Spirit.
Real quick, is a declining power. The withdrawal in Afghanistan exposed American weaknesses. The invasion of Ukraine confirmed the limits of American influence. And our allies like Saudi Arabia are drifting away, signaling the end of the American era.
One more time.
The States is a declining power. The withdrawal in Afghanistan exposed American weaknesses. The invasion of Ukraine confirmed the limits of American influence. And our allies like Saudi Arabia are drifting away, signaling the end of the American era.
Yeah, but it is. It is the end of the American era, and they're exposed. All right? Especially this, the way they try to do distraction news. When they get exposed on something, they use their media to distract with something else. And I find it amazing because now there's a new Omicron variant. So they're saying that it's hitting Thailand, India, and the UK, especially India. After India put them on blast, on the world stage. I'm gonna play that clip in a moment. It's very powerful. All right, so let's play that clip. Because, like it says, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and that's mainly through the internet, through social media, through the World Wide Web, which was prophesied. All right, that was prophesied in Psalms the 19th chapter, which we refer to as the internet scripture. The internet was prophesied in the Bible, and the prophets of the Lord has used the internet to propagate the true word of the Lord, the true meaning and understanding of the Bible, which has been denied and hid and kept secret for generations. But here we go. You're accusing NATO of being what? What is India doing? I should only respond to you very briefly to your unnecessary attack on India. I do not understand anymore, and it's becoming frustrating that any discussion regarding this war becomes a discussion on India. Well, I will say it one more time to you, Dove. India is going to take care of India. India is going are rising economically. And please read it, this is not our war. Dove, you are the ones with the biolabs in Ukraine. There it is. You are the ones, Joe Biden's sons was doing all kinds of business in Ukraine. You are vested in Ukraine. You are pushing Ukraine. You are encouraging Ukraine. And yesterday, your president went and said, listen, Zelensky, if you want to give up territory, it's your choice. Listen, Zelensky, if you want to break up your country and give a little bit of it to Russia, it's your choice. You have hung the Ukrainians out to dry, Dove, and how dare you question India all the time? You hung them out to dry. You're just saying, go fight with the last Ukraine. $2.5 billion of assistance. How much have you guys given? The whole world considers Mr. We've given humanitarian aid. It's your war. It's your war. We'd rather give them food than weapons. By giving them weapons, you are driving them further down into greater difficulty. Biden is begging the Venezuelans to give him a little bit of extra oil, but he says that India is on shaky ground. America fled for Afghanistan with their incompetence exhibited in frightening pictures of Afghans hanging onto the wheels of their transport aircraft, but he says, no, India is being shaky about Ukraine. This is his war. He started it, and he needs to take both the responsibility and accountability for it. America has absolutely no business attacking us anymore. When it is they who have provided the spark that's led to the bloodiest and most unending of all wars. America has that's enough. He is putting them on blast, man. And it is India's war. So, just like when the data from the damage that was done from the medicine that they forced on everyone through mandates, when that data was released, all right, all of a sudden this war started. Yeah. All right. And then as soon as the information came out that America did have biolabs that were creating weapons that could harm Russia, which is the real reason why Russia went into there. One of the main reasons was to stop that, to get control over those labs. As soon as that information was leaked, all of a sudden it's slapped from around the world. So this is what America does. They, when the story is condemning to them, they distract with something else, or they simply just show you something else continually until the stupid, manipulated, easily sheeple of America, for the most part, and the majority of Americans, believe whatever they see on their TV, and there's the point. There it is.
Got your ass, found you, and you are made a lie, Esau. And you stupid people that follow that nigga are fucking idiots. And I'm mainly talking about my people, the children of Israel, because they like to listen to the news all the time, and they like to do what they've been told. And when they tell them not to be alarmed, or, different shit, oh, the new Elden Ring video game just came out, or when fucking Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, different little comedy skits, or another Marvel movie came out. They look to that. They look right, left, up, down. They'll do whatever this media tells them to do. And they're completely brainwashed. Idiots. And it's real shit going down in the world. Like he said, why Joe Biden is begging the Israelis for oil, man. They over there starting all that shit because they know if they don't get that oil, it's going to cause riots out here in this bitch. And all these cars are going to stop running. And the stuff that, the trucks that transport your food, you know what I'm saying, to get your food to these grocery stores and all that, they won't be able to do it no more. So, and it's all thanks to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and Name Yahushai, because it's a part of us getting out of his captivity. He going to break the gates, and those of us that want to come out, we're going to come out and go be with Yahweh. And those of us that's, house niggas, they going to stay in the gate even when the Lord rips the doors off the gate and tell them to come out. They still going to stay in there. But Master told me to stay in here. Just stupid shit. It says, and these are the foundations that the Lord made. Nobody made this but God. He says, he made the Pleiades and Orion. He turns the shadow of death into morning. He makes the day dark as night. He calls for the waters of the sea and pours them out on the face of the earth. Yahweh is his name. He rains ruin upon the strong. so that fury comes upon the fortress. That's what's happening to the white man. He think he's strong, and the Lord is destroying him. They hate the one who rebukes in the gate, and they abhor the one who speaks uprightly. Therefore, because you tread down on the poor and take grain taxes from them, do you hear that? Grain taxes from them. You use us up, you destroy us. You got us working, like Apostle Tahar said, $15 to $20 is slave fucking wages, okay? $12 to $9 an hour is slavery wages. That ain't shit, man. And we over here counting on this money, and these you got big obese white people that are way up there that are just living off your backs, man. Like, why you over there busting your ass in that factory, or you over there in that fast food restaurant doing what you gotta do? You know what I'm saying? All they gotta do is go to their mailbox and collect all your damn earnings. That everybody's earnings. They just go to the mailbox, break their check, go home. It's one example of it is like how you invest in a vending machine. And as many as people put that money in the vending machines, you put them in different areas, you know what I'm saying, you going to get the money out of it. So the more that they use your vending machine, the more money you going to get out of it. It's the same way with a lot of these places, the same shit. But they're taken away from the backs of the children of Israel. Everybody knows that the bulk of work society is the Negroes, Mexicans, and the Indians. They the slaves, we the children of Israel, and it's always been like that. You think a lot of white people are suffering at work? You think that they busting their ass constantly? Hell no, man. You got some of the white people that's down on the ground, which is a weird sight. You know, it's weird for them to be doing drugs. It's weird for them to be pouring bums and crackheads. That don't seem right. When they used to be on top of everything, man. It just takes time for things to fall apart. That's all. But when it gets to its end, it's getting really ugly for these white people. Really ugly. It says, therefore, because you tread down the poor and take grain taxes from him, though you have built houses of hewn stone, yet you shall not dwell in them. Yep, you made big old new corporate buildings. You know what I'm saying? You got brand new houses, because that's the house stock market crashing and bursting into flames. People can't even live in these fucking houses because of the inflation. You got damn near one house can cost $16,000 to probably move in. Now it boosted damn near to 70 racks, $70,000 to move into this damn house, you know? And the rent is boosted up to damn near $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 for barely a 3-bedroom, you know what I'm saying, or a 4-bedroom house, you know, not to include all the other bills that's upon it. Niggas can't afford that shit. Not even they own can afford it anymore. So it says, yet you shall not dwell in them. You have planted pleasant vineyards, but you shall not drink wine from them. For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins, afflicting the just and taking bribes. Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what the white man doing, diverting the poor from the justice at the gate. You don't want to give them back their royalty that you stole. And the white man says that they, the children of Israel, they're the redeemed ones. They're gods. And they don't want to give back Jacob his rightful place, which is on the right side of Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahushua is on his right, his father's right hand. And Yahweh is Yahweh, the Almighty, and the one that sits on his right hand is Yahushua, and the people that sit on Yahushua's right hand is Jacob. That's the next ruler, you know what I'm saying? And they refuse to give them back their royalty. They refuse to let us go out of our captivity. They grind us to dust at these jobs. If we got kids, they make sure they get all the money out of them, put them in school, you know. You got education. They pump. Little do you know, you done took damn near 5 to 6 years to get a damn degree, and they done pumped 5 to 6 years out of your ass. All that money flying out your ass for some certificate telling you that you're actually dumber than what you were before you even went to school. Here's a certificate. You're officially retarded. So you gotta... I mean, you know, I'm not going to really fuck. I'm not gonna really down school like that, but you know, at the end of the day, you need to know the truth about school. You know, so you know these kids are coming out more and more dumber than ever. You know, they're not even teaching ethnics. They're not teaching real history. You know, they're not teaching you real knowledge. Not especially our people, the children of Israel. They're not teaching them their heritage, none of that shit. They keep on regurgitating the same shit, and they don't want to talk about slavery. They don't want to talk about how we were in rule. You know, they don't want to talk about the Bible. They don't want to talk about nothing. They want your kids to be gay, and they want you guys to pretend and look the other way. You know, so with that, I'm about to get ready to close out with these last couple of verses. It says, "For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins, afflicting the just and taking bribes, diverting the poor from the justice at the gate. Therefore the prudent keep silence at the time, for it is an evil time. Seek good and not evil, that you may live." This is to the children of Israel. "So that Yahweh Hashem Hawashai of hosts will be with you. As you have spoken, hate evil, love good, establish justice in the gate. It may be that Yahweh Hashem Hawashai will be gracious to the remnant Joseph," meaning Jacob. All right. So call on Yahweh Hashem Hawashai, B'Hashem Rakakadash, giving all respect to Yahweh Shai, his only begotten son, the Adonai, the Hamashiach, the light of this world, the one who died for Israel and rose to sit to become his father's right arm, my redeemer, my comforter, and my salvation, and the only one that plead his blood on over Israel, the only nation granted for salvation. Shout out to the apostles of Great Millstone that revealed his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and truth to me. And shout out to the Akim and Akwath. Much love to you guys that's out there laboring and risking your freedom in life to do so, you men of Israel. Shout out to you women that's in the natural order of things, listening and learning in silence. And, you know, with it all says, on to the next video, and enjoy your night or morning.